All right. First of all, just obviously disappointed in the result, disappointed in the way we played. There's a better performance for this team. And you look at 21 points off turnovers, two interceptions that went for touchdowns. That will never be a winning formula. The 7 penalties, particularly the 2 personal fouls, the 2 operational penalties, those aren't things that we want to identify our program. And so, again, we sit here and we say, we got to protect the ball. We got to own our operation. We got to play a cleaner brand of football. And we won't win games when we turn it over, and particularly turn it over for touchdowns. That said, I thought the team showed fight. I thought the team, especially on defense, stepped into strong performance through the middle of the game. We were able to win the middle 8, outscored them 13-0. I thought defensively in the third quarter, I think they had something like -5 total yards off on offense in the third quarter, but they outscored us 7-3. That's indicative of a team that's not playing 3 phases interlocked. So the challenge here becomes, being really sober and clear-eyed with respect to, what we don't like in the performance, but also speaking to a room that needs confidence. We need to go on the field and play with confidence, particularly offensively, because there's better performance and there's more for us out there. And so that's what we talked about after the game. I want to be direct and honest with the team about what I'm seeing. That's how we'll approach this week, and we have another opportunity to get back into it against Missouri. That I'm happy to open up for questions.
What happened to A.J. Swan at the end there, and what's his status?
Elbow. It's still the elbow contusion from last week, and he battled it this week. He was able to return to the game last weekend and finish. Thought he was good on Tuesday. I said this on Thursday. Wednesday, kind of took a step back, came back out Thursday. I felt like he was feeling good. I just never thought I saw him playing with confidence today. It felt like offensively we were playing from our heels a little bit. And obviously, when it came down to the end, just didn't feel like he could go moving forward. I was proud of the way Ken came in and moved the offense for the last score. And we gotta monitor AJ's health and availability as we move forward. But we certainly need more from that position. We need better play from that position. We gotta make better choices with the ball. When we're late and we're throwing it up, it has not gone well for our team. When we're on time and in rhythm, good things happen. When he found Jay Ball there on the check down on third down, we get a big play. When we get the ball to the running back, like Ken did there in the last series, and get it out on time and in rhythm, we get good plays. It's when we try to force things, we hold on it too long. And that's where, for a young quarterback, learning how to take a sack, learning how to throw the ball away, those are valuable lessons. Unfortunately, we're paying right now as a program, and we gotta strengthen there. So hopefully AJ will be all right, and I think every exposure he has is learning, but we'll have to monitor his availability moving forward and see what we can get from him this week.
So do you think the injury impacted his performance today?
I think that certainly, he was sore, and, we got to look at the film and talk to him about it. I mean, I don't want to sit here and speculate on what I think happened. What I know that needs to happen is we got to play better. We have to play better at that position. And certainly if we're not physically capable to do it, we need to find that formula where we can. In my mind, A.J. Swan's a really talented player that's learning through some really hard lessons. And, I have trust and faith that he'll continue to progress. There are flashes of really good play in there too, but consistency is what we're looking for. And again, we'll monitor his health moving forward, but the message to that room is we got to play better at the quarterback position if we want to have a chance to win in league.
Are you going to consider starting someone else against Mizzou at quarterback?
It's all a matter first of AJ's health. That's what we'll kind of start there. and then the availability to practice will be big too, because this is an offense that's still trying to build connection and chemistry. I mean, there's too much that we leave on the bone within drives, where our time in training needs to be intentional and purposeful. And so we'll let the next 24 hours go. We'll check in on AJ tomorrow, see where he is, but just like we say, it's earn it every day. We make the best decisions we feel like put the team in the best position to win. To this point, it's been AJ. We'll see where he's at with his elbow and see how we can move forward.
The offensive line didn't seem like it was helping them out a lot of the game. Where did you see the breakdowns there?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's losing one-on-ones, and sometimes it's just a breakdown in protection. I don't know. I'll have to look at the film, Chris, because I think sometimes as the down extends and they get a late sack or a sack falling in as he's stepping up, we have to look at where the ball should be delivered on time. If it's not on time, obviously, eventually protection will break down. I did see early on a couple of free runners and things that are inexcusable, and that comes back to connection and chemistry that we got to build through training, and we can do that. I thought their performance strengthened as the game went on, but it wasn't good enough to allow us to win.
You mentioned even beyond the interceptions, some penalties and other errors like the last few games. Why do you think, since this has been the emphasis really since the beginning of the season, that the message isn't really getting through?
Well, I mean, again, with penalties, I look at them. There are penalties that I think last week I believe we had 3 penalties in the game, so it wasn't a sloppy game that way. I think last week you talk about ball security and how we take care of the ball. Today it's the same story. The penalties that I don't like are operational. So we had 2 false starts, and then the 2 personal fouls that we took. The targeting call, we're playing hard. He's got to keep his face up, and if he does that, it's the crown of the helmet. And that's a fundamental technical foul. So that one I think sometimes I feel like it's just a in the moment penalty, but when you have the personal fouls, one after the interception return that put us in a really compromised position, one early on that got us off schedule and put us behind the sticks. That's just not smart. And again, anything operational to me is inexcusable. We have to own our operation, and that's how we put pressure on the opponent. So we had 2 false starts today. Those are frustrating. We had a hold that, again, is a fundamental technical snap. That was on a touchdown pass, too. And then the face mask in the end zone, we got to look at that one. I couldn't see it. I tried to see it on the video board. That was flagged as a personal foul. I felt like Miles didn't bring him down with the face mask, but we just got to check it out. Again, some of those are going to come up in the flow of the game. The procedural, the operational ones, and then the discipline penalties to me that's not Vanderbilt football. It's not who we are, and we have to be better in those areas.
Kentucky started the game with 24 unanswered. What kind of led to that slow start for you guys?
Well, again, I thought we were playing from our heels on offense. We had the targeting, we punt on the first possession, and defensively we have a targeting, and it takes Jalen out of the game. And they scored on a breakout run in that first touchdown. And again, we're playing 2 safeties that weren't in the rotation early in the season. I thought those guys both stepped up today. I'm really proud of Marlowe and House. I think early on, we gave a little too much space to the ball carrier, and that whenever the ball gets in space like that, it's because our eyes aren't in the right space, right place, and we're not taking the space early in the down. And so that's going to be correctable. I thought on the whole we were able to play with structure against the run game. Obviously, they got the breakout late there, which led to the score on a second and extra long. But then you have the pick 6 thrown on the next possession, right? So there's 14. That's you get on your heels that way, it becomes really challenging. And so I thought at the point at which there was a sequence 4 possessions into the half. We got a field goal on offense, stop on defense, field goal on offense, stop on defense, touchdown on offense. I felt like we got our cleats back in the ground and started to play with some confidence there. We have to pull that through 4 quarters.
At the beginning of the game, it seemed like AJ didn't have a lot of time in the pocket. Would you consider maybe having more screen passes and options just for the quarterback to get the ball out quicker?
Oh, I think that there's always design for the ball to come out quicker, and certainly you can design, plays, screens, whatever that are telling them where to go with it. But we always have short routes or checkdowns where the sooner you get the ball out and get the play rolling, get the ball in play, the less you're leaning on protection to get the ball down the field. Some of those are shots we're taking, right? And so we're intentionally trying to get the ball up and over the defense. But even in those plays, there's always an outlet down low. So rather than necessarily talk about the play design, we'll look at how we're executing within the play and what our decision making looks like at the quarterback position to see how we can take some pressure both off him and off the front as well.
One more.
Defensively, it didn't allow a ton of yards. I guess the yards per play for them was pretty high, and it just seems like kind of a hard game to gauge defensively. What do you think? How do you think the defense played? How do you evaluate it? Having said that, you haven't actually watched the tape yet.
Well, I felt like the defense played well enough. I thought they played with fight and spirit. Again, I look at it wasn't perfect now. So again, let me be really clear. Here's what I see: explosive run for a touchdown. We're going to have to coach through that. We're growing up players on the field, and that's a tough situation. We got a freshman corner hit on a double move, right? That set up another score. We got beat on a throw to the corner of the end zone where I thought we were in really good position, and we didn't pass interfere. It looked like we just need to turn back and play the ball there. So those things we'll clean up. Like I said, they had the breakout run on, I think it was like 2nd and 18 or, we'll have to look at that and see where the structure was. But on the whole, particularly through the middle of that game, we were stacking stops defensively. We got the ball turned over. We got the offense good field position. We just weren't able to play complementary. And to me, it's the story of the game is we need an offense that's going to take the field with confidence and is going to be able to put the ball in the end zone. We weren't able to do, and some of that is credit to Kentucky. I don't want to sit here and act like they didn't play a good game, but I look at our team and say there's a lot more for us. I'm interested in finding it. There's nothing we can do about what's happened. It's like, we're gonna be really, again, clear-eyed with our evaluation of the film, and we're gonna fight for a better performance next week, and see if we can't improve this team as we go. Again, I think the team, and I told this to the guys, that team at the end of the second quarter, through halftime, and in the third quarter, I want to go to battle with that group. That's a group that has heart, has identity, has fight, and has confidence. And we can pull that from this performance, as disappointed as we are with the outcome. We can pull that from this performance and try to replicate it forward with cleaner play. We'll be in these games, and we'll have a chance to strike late and win. And it's just about our discipline now to keep everything in perspective and keep moving forward.
It feels like a high number of the interceptions this season have either been returned for touchdowns or returned deep into your own territory. So is there something that the offense after the interception happens is maybe doing wrong that's leading to such those long returns on the interceptions?
Some of them have to do with where, to answer your question, no. There's nothing that we're going to be addressing about how we cover interceptions better. That's not going to be a part of our correction. When the ball is out late, routes are down the field, right? So again, the first one today, they jumped a flat route, and that's going to be hard because you got really one guy to make the play, and then the quarterback, and he was blocked and couldn't get the ball down. When you look at the second one, they lateraled the ball. Right, we had it wrapped up. It was lateraled, and then they tacked on the 15 yards for the personal foul, which is that's on us. The one against UNLV that went for a touchdown was the reverse, so it wasn't an interception. It was a reverse that got disrupted, and again, the momentum of the defense is running this way. We're running the other way. Those are the things that I see, and so very interested in decisions with the ball and where we have designs of plays that we need to get out of. As far as the coverage, I think some of that is honestly some unfortunate, circumstances.
How did you think that the defense did at defending against Ray Davis?
Well, I don't care who the running back is. I mean, we're trying to stop the run. So, they had the one breakout run for a touchdown, which was obviously not what we want, and they had the one on second and long late. On the whole, I felt like we were able to defend the run well. But again, it goes back to last week too. We're looking for small wins here, and we need to be in search of big wins. So, we have to play well enough that we down that breakout run, that it doesn't get in the end zone. And on second and long, we have to be in structure to force a third down and get off the field. Those will be the things that we look at to take control over aspects in our performance where we can play better.
Thanks, everybody.
What happened with Langston Patterson?
He's got a hamstring. He'll be okay. They were considering clearing him to play today. Just felt like it was in his best interest moving forward that he rested, and so he rested. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.